27. Alright, Facebook popped up. Alright, you 12. You go ahead and pop up, Shafar. Alright, that's a lot. Alright, scrolls. And also too, you can see me struggling over there. So you struggling over there. It's a lot. Alright, sweat. Alright, you know what to say.
So we have a Mario. Upon Hakedam, that's faced the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanah. Shabbat Shabbat. Kadah. Yah. SHALAM. Yahweh. Malakah. Daba'ah. Razak. Yah. I.S.U.P.K. Baharakazah. Kawak. Yah. Bashamai. Tanana. Akam. Call. Yawam. Wasalapna. Wapina. Salapna. Wapina. Yana. Banasar. Ball. Shana. Yan. Rai. Ya. Ka. Malakwa. Wa'al. Watapar. Labalayim. Aman.
The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts. As we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayan. Alahari. Mayam. Yaba'ah. Azari. Ayn. Yahweh. Ashah. Shemai. Baharakazah. Aliyatan. Nawat. Ragalka. Al-Yanamon. Shamarka. Na. Yawam. Wala'ah. Yeshan. Shamar. Yashalah. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Zalka. Yeah. Yamyanka. Damam. Shamash. Yukaka. Oyarak. Bayala. Yahweh. Shamarka. Call. Right. Shamar. Napas. Yahweh. Shamar. Aka. Waka. Ayaka. Why? I will.
Psalms 121 in English. I lift up our eyes. To the hills. Whence cometh my help? My help comes from the Lord. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. Even forevermore.
The prayer for the Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Bashim Yahushua. Babakashah. Thunder. Ka. Kamakala. Kamadawak. Ka. Tahar. Hamachazariah. Ka. Haki. Maki. Ka. Al-Rakawak. Hatama'ala. Garsha. Bashim Yahushua.
The The power in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Name Yahweh.
Name Yahweh.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
All manner of disease.
Power to cleanse the leper.
Power to cleanse the leper.
Power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
Power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
Cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Prayer for the blessing of Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashim Yahushua.
Bashim Yahushua.
Baraklanah.
Baraklanah.
Wa'asharah. Wa'abiyah.
Wa'abiyah.
Paris. Rak. Pa. Gun. Say the name of the loved ones once. Everyone repeats the name once.
Joseph Daniel.
Saharazan.
Nicole Clinton. Ryan. Kadash Dayan. Daryah. Shagariah. Tabak. Yawash. Ramak Yahweh. Devar Mas. Former all. Rakabana. Azara. Kanagabar. Kawah. Yapa. I.S.U.P.K. Minneapolis. Tarak. Mugaba. Tim. Cliff. Cardona. All of Israel. Anybody else?
I.S.U.P.K. All I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K. Minneapolis.
I.S.U.P.K. Minneapolis. That's watch all of Israel.
Bashim Yahushua. Warama.
Bless Israel in English. What we just said was, Lord in the name of Yahweh.
Lord in the name of Yahweh.
Bless us in Israel.
Bless us in Israel.
In the school. Bless He'll shield protect. Loved ones. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahaya. Al-Damiyah. Al-Takarah. Al-Takarah. GEN.YAHANNA. Yahama. One. Amaka. Yaryama. Wayata. Yatazawa. Tazawapanka. Amarwa. Akawa. Unakidam. Magari. Nazakar. Sham. Yashal. Iwa. Iyad. Nantazawa. Ba. Yakaba. Ayaka. Baria. Yakarwa. Ali. Alwam. Wa. Yashima. Yam. Moab. Wagari. Ball. Waimola. Shah. Ain. Yashabi. Tazawar. Gam. Ashwar. Nalawa. Amam. Hayawa. Zara. Banya. Wat. Salah. Shah. Laham. Madi. Kasiyasara. Kayabi. Barakao. Kayasma. Nashamarwa. Bayan. Dara. Yahweh. Hayawa. Daman. Ladam. Shatam. Adab. Ya. Mawa. Kara. Wakazaaba. Wakatazal. Manai. Kal. Nasayakamba. Shah. Marwa. Nawarasa. Lanawa. Awa. Alahaya. Shatam. Galka. Kwash. Panya. Rahawaka. Kash. The bar. Yar. Wa. Kalahaba. Talahat. Hari. Kam. Radam. Basaraka. Basa. Paka. Dabalaham. Malah. Panyaham. Alawan. Wa'abakasha. Shamka. Yahweh. Yabasha. Wa'aba'awa. Aya. Wa'akapawa. Wa'abala. Wa'adawa. Kaya Shamka. Yahweh. Labaka. Ayawan. Call. Haharakazah.
Spanish Psalms 83 in English. Keep not thy silence. O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. Be not still. O Yahweh. For lo, thy image makes atonement. They that hate thee. And lift up the head. That take the crafty counsel against thy people. You can sober against thy hidden ones. Edom. The Philistines inhabitants of Tyre. And show also joy with them. And have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Go unto them as unto the Midianites. As a Sisera. As a Jabin. Look at his son. The spirits that endure. And it came as dust for the earth. Make the nobles like Ur. And like Zeed. Yeah. All the prisoners as the Bob. As a woman. Who said, let's take to ourselves. The house of God possession. Oh my God. Making like a wheel. Stuck before the wind. Fire burneth the wood. And as the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempests. Make them afraid with thy storm. Fill the face with shame. And then we seek thy name. O Lord. Let it be confounded in trouble. Forever. Yea. Let it put to shame. And perish. That men may know that thou. Whose name alone is Yahweh. Art the most high over all the earth. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. Name Yahweh Shah. Listen to us now. Right now. Use the curses. Destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. Thy prophets. The teachers. The princes. Priests. Israelite brothers. In the school. Schools of curses. Destruction. To the heathen. Shake loose the treasure. The rich of Israel. And refuse to give to the school. Force their riches. To enter thy sanctuary. To use the curses. And punish the destruction. To the Edomites. The nations. And their drug court system. Prison system. Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies. And relax to the gods and army. Roman Catholic Church. Pope. Islam. Christianity. Scientology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. Gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spies. Works of witchcraft. That's a space program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. In the airways. Give an access channel. In the radio channel. Convince the spirit of any of thy people. They seek to stop us. Or that stand in the way. Or try to stop us. Broadcasting your word. Planet Earth. It's all the plagues. All we go to and fro. And consume them. Let the plague shake. The house of the thief. And the murder. Let Yahweh shine. Michael Gabriel. Now the flying saucer. Punish all the heathens. That come against us. As we speak thy word. Because we know about all. That's the angel that does it. How to be spread through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause him to shake at that coming. And then Yahweh shine. Thank you always. So be it. Sorry. Put that back. Go to the horn. You have the sorry word. Alright, Yeshabia, which means to set. Ecclesiastes right there. The water. I appreciate that.
Come.
That's right. You want to scoot in a little bit towards the middle. so you can see yourself. Alright, so he's going to get into Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. We are going to start at verse 8. Alright? Did you want to sit down?
I can use that.
Yep. Alright, no sweat. I need to get that app on my phone as well, y'all. Y'all killing the game. You got it on your person. You go ahead whenever you're ready, alright?
Okay.
No sweat.
Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse 8. Abal, Amar, Aqua, Alaf, Akar, Abal, verse 9. Wayatar, Shahaya, Qualaf, Kakam, Iwad, Lamad, Dai, Ah, Ayam, Wazal, Wakakwa, Kakwa, Mashaya, Araba'ah, verse 10, Bakash, Qualaf, Lamataza, the Barya, Kapataza, Wakwa, Wow, Yashar, the Barya, a month, verse 11, the Barya, Kakamiyam, Kadar, Banawaf, Wakam, Shamar, Waf, the power, Ayam, Bahaya, I.S.U.P.K, Waf, Nathanael.
It's fine.
All right. Sapari, Araba, Ayan, Quataza, Alad, Arama, Yagaya, Bashar, verse 13. Sawak, Dabar, Akam, Nashama, Alayam, Yara,
No sweat. Take your time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Got it.
You in verse what again?
13.
All right, that's right.
Okay.
I like
Not
this
your-
chapter.
12 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Nashaman. Ayah. Wow. Ma tazawab. Tayawa. Shamwa. Kaya. Za. Call. Adam. Verse 14. Kaya. Call. Amasha. Alayam. Yaba. Amash. Pot. I. Call. Nalam. Tawa. Wam. Right. It's 14.
And most time for us, that was perfect. Like, by the way, to once again, how you read the praise was very perfect as well. Very, very beautiful. All right, so let's get into it. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 8. Is that correct?
Yeah, 12.
All right, that's right. It's actually a pretty good chapter as well.
Right.
Verse 13 is actually my go-to precept. All right, go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 8. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. All is vanity.
Okay, so like before we get into that, if you could give me a little recap of what y'all pretty much the whole premise of what last week was as far as scriptures. Like, what did y'all break down? Because of course we always like to recap,
Right.
so people understand where we're at.
So, what do you want to go a couple of verses up?
No, or if you just want to summarize last week. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Pretty much I'm saying, okay, let's talk about like, wherever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. Verse 7, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it.
Right. That's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I would definitely use that for that Adam breakdown.
Right.
Okay, so it was pretty self-explanatory, which I read last week.
Right. It was pretty much saying is, when it all, boils down to, rich, poor, whatever the damn case is.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to take that same, you know what I'm saying?
Exit.
Right.
Okay, that's what. All right, I just wanted to know. So yeah, we go over verse 8 if you don't mind.
Vanity of vanities, because this is the conclusion right here.
God, yeah.
Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. All is vanity.
Right. So vanity is nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And the preacher here is King Solomon, because that's what a preacher's real job is to disperse wisdom. King Solomon was known for that.
Right, that's absolutely correct.
And he kept pushing that wisdom out. And as the wisdom just kept coming out of him, and people was, people was coming from all over the world just to hear it. They weren't coming to the world. They wasn't coming to be entertained.
Right, he's not entertained.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not out there dancing and jigging and you know what I'm saying. We're like, playing service music while everybody running around the church. He wasn't doing nothing like that.
Right.
He's actually giving things. The job of a preacher a lot of times is kind of a dangerous situation.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Because the stuff that people got from King Solomon they was able to use it eventually once we fell against his people.
Of course, yeah.
And they used it to help to enslave us too. That wasn't the way it was really supposed to go.
Right.
But, you know, you think of that, that's the reason why they brought such great trains of goods with them, because they knew that they was getting something of such value that they can bring right back. What they're getting is what they call today intelligence.
Yeah, intelligence, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they want to, like say for instance, Japan wants to find out how America made the atom bomb.
Oh, that's right.
You know? So they spare no expense to find out how they actually did it. They take the knowledge that they get, they bring it back to Japan and process it, and try to come up. They want to know how to do the cell phones. All the cell phones, because who was one of the top rivals, you know, of America as far as cell phones? China and stuff like that. They find out how you did it, and then they go back to do the, you know, to try and replicate what you did. Well, that's what.
It's like, if I could, like that goes all the way back to Thanksgiving.
Right.
As far as Esau with Native Indian with God.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Absolutely, same thing.
Find out how to live off the land.
Right.
You know what? I bet you they brought great gifts to the chiefs.
I'm sure they did.
Great gifts to the chiefs, and the chiefs told them, well, do such and such. You know, this type of thing comes with the turkey. That's something that you could eat. It's not poisonous. You know what I'm saying? You know, did them like that, because they came here not knowing nothing. They came here seeing animals and plants and stuff that they never saw in Europe. It's like the tomato. Somebody had to tell them about the tomato.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. We run around thinking that pizza and spaghetti and all of that stuff come from the Italians, and they didn't have those foods in Europe. They had pasta over there, but as far as tomato, it takes tomato to make tomato sauce. So how can they be like the ones that invented pizzas and all that? They got pizzas off the Mexicans.
Right.
That's what they did. They got the pizzas right off the Mexicans, the same foods that they known for today, pizza and spaghetti. So they top foods, and when you think of Italian food, the first thing you think of.
I met this cat when I was slaving at Target some years ago. His name is Frankie. I used to think that he was a devil for the longest until one day he had told me that his father is Mexican and his mother is, you know, Italian. But you know, he has such a, you know, such of his mother's side to the point where I didn't know too much about it. But his father actually is, you know, Mexican, things of that sort. But you know, this brother actually for college, he had went to Italy for the first time, and he was telling, like, when he came back to the job, because you know he was my trainer. When he came back to the job, he was telling me pretty much how out there in Italy, our American perception as far as their food is absolutely different.
Yeah,
wrong. And they sometimes, you know, laugh at people who think that the things that you hear about or see on TV, you're not going to see it here in Italy.
Right.
You know, as far as pasta, like you said, that's true.
Right.
But they do have pizza and stuff like that there, but culturally, no.
You see,
you know what I mean?
What happened was, when you had the Italian immigrants, the very first Italian immigrants came to the South, Louisiana and stuff like that,
that's
right. New Orleans and all of that stuff. They were getting their food tips off the blacks. To see, these were poor Italians.
Right, I was just saying that. You know? Before.
Yeah, they were poor Italians. They got a lot of their food and cooking tips off the blacks.
Right.
Now you take that away, and Italians are just more like Russians and you know, people from Ukraine and stuff like that. They're more like them. Just like when I was watching an episode of Sopranos, and where Tony Soprano.
It's on Netflix, right?
No, Sopranos ain't on Netflix. Probably I'll put it up on.
I heard a lot about it.
But you know, the Sopranos crew, they went over to Italy, and they thought that they was going to eat food like what they be eating in, you know, because they was from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like they was going to get in Jersey and New York and all of that. They thought they was going to get food like that when they went over there to cut some type of deal on these stolen cars and all that, right? But the food that they was coming out with, they was like, what the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
Because see, they had never even really been to Italy like that.
Right.
They grew up, you know what I'm saying? And that's the reason, that's where they also get their little swag that they come from niggas.
Of course.
All of their, all of that stuff, all of the Guido stuff. You know, they got like Guidos over there.
Right, they're not.
They Guidos over in America.
Because
they imitate blacks, the same people that they hate. That's why they always grabbing their crotch, you know, imitating niggas.
Jewelry, flash.
Right. They're imitating blacks and Hispanics, especially like up north, New York and all of that.
Yeah, Cali and all that shit.
Right. And they try to, you know, take something from us because they figure it gives them such strength. You know, but in their rawest form, they're just like any other Edomite. They're just like the French. They're just like the people from Russia. You know, the Ukrainians, the Croatians, and all of them. They're just like them. Mm-hmm. You know, and they don't season their food. You know what I'm saying? The only thing, they just speak Latin. They speak that language. So we think of Latin. We think hot sauce. And you know what I'm saying? That's what we think. You know what I'm saying? Naturally come to your mind. You think the way they talk. Oh man, this food must be. They come with that, you know, talking with that Latin in there, and that's not their language.
No, it's not.
That comes from the Japhites.
It does. Sure does. Yep, no, you're absolutely right about that. But I was going to say too, that's easy language. That's easy history to find out.
Right.
It's all about researching.
Right.
It's not that damn hard.
Right. You can even see it in the movies and stuff like that.
I was going to say, it's right there in your face.
Right. Yeah, you can even see it in that. You see how, you know, like you got like some mafia movie. I was just watching a mafia movie on Netflix. You know, they were, you know, upbeat and up to date and everything, like as far as with, you know, technology and stuff like that.
Right.
But you can still see the difference between them and the Italians from over here. You know, they were still different. They were acting more like gay Romans. You know, they're more like, you know, like there's Caesarish, you know, all of that stuff.
Let's move forward. So it's like trying to get too much off topic. So like as far as verse 8, right? You know, I just want to ask you. It's safe to say that shit. This reminds me, as far as like you said, the role of a preacher, meaning like King Solomon.
Right.
And, you know, preacher being like he was a wise man who had wise counsel.
Right.
So I you know, when he said that, it reminded me of Yahushua.
Right.
Because it was like he was giving the people everything that they needed to survive.
Right.
You know, as far as the Bible and things of that sort, and the whole world turned on him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it didn't work in his benefit, but of course, you know, he still did the work that the Lord wanted him to do.
Right.
But that was not in vain.
Right. No, that wasn't in vain.
Right.
Well, what King Solomon, I was saying here, is vanity of vanities, because, you know, think about it. He had everything a man could ever want. And then he still, at the end of the day, said, vanity of vanities. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then in another scripture, when he said, you know, when it all boils down to it, the only thing you get out of it is the beholding of the eyes.
The beholding of the eyes.
You know what I'm saying? You got all of these, a whole harem of beautiful women. You know, what are some of the best, you know what I'm saying, you get out of it is look at all of this. Right. Look at all of this that I got. And that's almost as good as it gets. You know? You know what I'm saying? He done had all of nice,
it's probably one of you older.
Yeah, it was older stuff. Because he was a millionaire before he even became a rapper.
Yeah, that's right. That's very true. Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people don't really know that.
He was raw to the rap game. He didn't really know what to do. He came and ran the Def Jam with $1 million in a bag, and was like, "Put me on." Mm-hmm. And they had to, you know, place his shoes on there and let him know, "No, you can't come up in here with your drug money." Mm-hmm. Yeah. Want to go into verse 9? All right. Verse 9. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge.
Just like you said. Yeah. Keep going.
Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs.
Come. You mean what? What does that mean?
Yeah, he took the proverbial sayings and put them in order you know, to where people can read it, you know, like a book and get the knowledge from it.
I like the way you said that. You said proverbial, right?
Right.
Good night. You know, that's the best way that you can say it. Hey, little man, make sure you tie your shoes before you trip or fall somewhere. All right? Keep going.
Verse 10, the preacher sought to find out acceptable words.
Right. Most High Christ. Yep. That's what is that called when a person studies words? Etymologists. Etymologists. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, I want to become an etymologist. Okay? I like to write. You know what I mean? So that's King Solomon, like good choice of words and how to formulate everything and put it to where like it's versatile, it's universal to Black and Hispanic people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's amazing. I think that's why King Solomon has to be one of those, brothers that I love reading as far as the knowledge that he has given.
Right.
Man,
right.
I say a badass book is The Wisdom of Solomon.
Yes.
Now I didn't read all of it. I'm almost done, but of course, just read all the chapters. But just the first chapter, just the first couple of verses, you were already drawn into what he's talking about. And it's crazy how you look at. I mean, you study each and every book from King Solomon. It's like it just gets better and better. Right. It's like, damn, it's crazy. Right. Ecclesiasticus it's amazing as well.
Right.
Man, it just gets crazy. All right, it gets better. You want to say something?
Yeah, because there's another reason in every verse. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, he's a nigga. And they would hate to believe that niggas are wise. Just like today.
Right.
They hate to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Right. They hate to believe that blacks and Hispanics have such wisdom. Because just like they're doing now, they was painting propaganda against us back then. It was the same thing. It just wasn't done on no television. Okay. We didn't have no television back then.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Jews, they rebellious. They go by their own laws. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that they would say. They go by their own laws. They don't, whatever ruler was in place, they don't go by his rules. They go by their own. They are rebellious and hard-headed people. That's the type of. So now everybody on the earth is thinking, man, these people ain't about nothing. They're hard-headed. They do what they want to do. They thinking like that.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. Because when you really dissect it, right?
Right.
If you dissecting it out of sincerity, non-biasedly, then you can see, like,
you know what I'm saying, like as of now, we are building ourselves up to get to that point.
Right.
So once the kingdom comes, we are set.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And the world will have to answer to us.
Right. And guess what? And you know what? And the world is going to have to ask us questions, and we're going to tax them.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
They're going to want to learn how to get out of what they do to us now.
Right.
We want answers from them. If we want to go to Bill Gates and find out how we can be big computer moguls and all of that, like he is, it's going to cost you.
If I may, just like how when the Pilgrims came over here the first time around, and they didn't know how to survive in because they didn't know how to hunt and trap and track animals, and they didn't know anything about agriculture like that. We taught them this. And then they capitalized off it. Generations later, we're asking them how to make crack.
Right.
We're asking them how do you run a drug empire.
Right.
How do you set up gangs.
Right. True that. And we looking at people like Al Capone, and looking at all of these different mob figures and stuff like that, and trying to imitate them on how to be a better us.
Right.
Which, that, and we're willing to pay for that stuff. We're looking at professors and stuff in colleges. We're ready to go into debt just to hear what they got to say. And treaty us for.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to pay. We're not gonna be giving this stuff away for free.
Absolutely.
I mean, how the kingdom is gonna be built, right? We giving all this knowledge away for free. The only damn thing they're gonna do is take the knowledge we give them and turn it against us and use it against us, just like they've done in this kingdom right here.
Like just for example, like of course, you want to go to a general marriage council, there are certain, councils you have to pay for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's the way things should be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to think of you got to think about the things behind the scenes of all that, all the time and the patience that all that takes to retain all that knowledge and to give it to someone.
Right.
Because I mean, otherwise you can go out to the world and just listen to anybody. And a lot of professors, like a lot of them are just frauds. They just get thrown in there and they just teach all types of bullshit.
Right.
And then they think that they're always correct about something. Maybe that student, can be right about something. Like for example, the show that I was telling you about, Power, right? Which I cannot wait. Power's coming on tonight, so like it. So like, I love that show, right? But I like even watching shows like that or shows like How to Get Away with Murder, which is another great show. And just seeing how students challenge the professors,
right?
And based on the books that they be having, like what's that one famous book, Great Expectations?
Right.
I haven't read it yet, but I heard it's a very good book. It's like a very old book, you know what I mean? But it's that whole thing where there's a way to look at something. Maybe your way is wrong. You see what I'm saying? You talk about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why the same thing with the Bible. A lot of people have fears. They always say it's all about your interpretation.
Right.
When you dig deep into this Bible, you see it right there in front of your face.
Right.
You can't deny, you can't think of anything else but what's right in front of your face.
Right.
That's why people have to start reading the Bible with a Christian mindset.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how Esau reads the Bible.
Right.
Right.
That's why with the Jewish man, everything is physical.
Right.
Nothing spiritual.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the Bible even tells you how to read itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Precept.
What is
Here
that?
a little, there a little.
What's that?
In Isaiah, I think it's like 28.
I think it's 28 or 18 to 10, something like that.
I think it's 28.
28 and 10, I want to say. Yeah, I think that's Kodash's favorite precept. I remember when he first came in, I heard that precept 1,000 one time. Because that's absolutely true.
Right. It just breaks it down for you simple. Here a little, there a little.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then it goes on to say with stammering lips and another tongue when I speak to this people, which also I used to cut people with that. And it's, well, the Bible in English, why is it in English? And And I hit them with that scripture.
It's the same thing too. A lot of people get entangled up as far as or tangled up in a lot of biblical words, like the word kiss. See what I'm saying? Was it David and Jonathan?
Right.
See what I'm saying? A holy kiss. You see what I'm saying? A holy kiss, of course.
No, it was Paul that said that one.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? You know what I mean? All that means is a salute.
Right.
And the word happy.
Yeah, what we call a dap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dap it up. You know,
right. Yeah, it's a lot of words because now happy means gay.
Right.
But back then, happy meant something else. And by the way, there's many definitions to the word happy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The word, what's the big word that a lot of people always talk about? What's that word? It's something about Esau. You can't do something to Esau. Abhor. You know what I mean? Like, they looking at the modern term, but you gotta understand this Bible is years old.
Right.
Thousands of years old.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So once again, it's people's simplicity, and which is why they need brothers like us.
Yeah, a lot of people just, they try to nitpick,
of course,
with the Bible.
They still just want to be sinners.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So they want to say, well, it says kiss her. So I don't want to follow that because it say kiss.
Right.
They don't give a damn about the Bible. They don't care nothing about studying. And a lot of them ain't even read the Bible. They just listen to somebody that they seen on YouTube that say some bunch of dumb stuff, and they don't even dissect it to see what's right or not. They just take it on for themselves and then try and battle with it.
Yeah, and that's why I always tell people I would like I say something like at slavery, right? you're not really supposed to talk too much about, school and shit like that,
right.
because it's very controversial. You know what I mean? It's not really the time or place for that. So of course I tell people, hey, if you want, I hear you asking me about this and about that, just take my social media down or take my number down. We can holler after work about this.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And I was telling these sisters about multiple wives, and when you lay down with someone, you see what I'm saying? You have made an agreement between y'all two that y'all's gonna lay down, and y'all supposed to stay forever. Word of mouth cannot separate y'all. That's
right.
not enough.
Right.
But actions can separate y'all marriage.
Right.
If one of y'all throw each other to the side.
Right.
And they was like, damn, wow, that's so deep. And the sister's like, what? They was like, well, shit. I mean, when you say it like that, it makes sense. It's just like, your mother, your father, no one taught you correctly, because all you know is,
right.
if this nigga's not doing this for me, if this is not working out, I'm leaving and I'm going on the next ride.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
10 rides later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a sister tell me, she was like, damn, I wish I knew all this before I became a hoe. She said that shit loud as hell.
That's deep right there.
And she was like, shit, I could have been with a brother like you. And I was like, hey, now you can stop.
Right.
Now you can stop being a hoe.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? When she said that shit, like I was like that's powerful. You see what I'm saying? But definitely you should stop hoeing.
Right.
It's not gonna help you.
Some women out there that don't like being hoes. Right.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
They are that,
but they don't like it.
I done met a few females that, we're decent. Like they've been with other men, but they stayed until the wheels fell off or until the guy left. I seen situations like that to where they didn't rush to get on the next ride and shit like that. Like they was trying with the man. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know a few people, but it's rare. I just know a few, not a lot. There's not a lot out here like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
some women just grew up in a prostitute culture.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. This was something that was going on back in the day, before have a daughter.
Yeah.
And the daughter about 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
She would set her up to sleep with the rent man.
Oh Lord.
Dead serious. Nobody talks about that.
No, I do know about that.
You know what I'm saying? That was common.
Shit's like where I grew up at. I know a few women that did some favors for landlords and people, and just to keep the lights on and shit. It's no different than when mama is sleeping with the pastor to keep the lights on, although the pastor is touching on the kids.
Right.
It's no different.
A lot of the times, the landlord or pastor or whatever got tired of hitting the mom. There's no big thrill there. He been banging her up for months on end.
Right.
So the thrill is gone. Now she's setting him up with something that she figured that he would like more, which is her daughter, who looks like her, but much younger.
Yeah, very disgusting.
Right. That's the thing that was going on. So when the deal was made to kick black men out the house, you know what I'm saying? Way back then, it was easier for black men to get jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was easier, it was so common for everybody to have a job.
Yeah. But,
you know what I'm saying?
But definitely that oppression was still heavy.
Yeah, it was still heavy.
It was still heavy. I'll say that much.
Yeah. But like it wasn't the way that it is now, because everything got tighter and crunched more. As long as you go down the line, history, like things nowadays ain't like they were in the 80s.
Yeah.
In the 80s, most everybody had jobs.
Yeah, most everybody.
And then that's when people start getting them government jobs, start being trash men and all kind of different levels of government, working for different levels of government.
Unions.
Yeah, stuff like that, It started, and that's when the college phase really got very first started for blacks, because most blacks wasn't going to college.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't afford it.
One thing. You couldn't afford it, and a lot of shit was still kind of segregated.
A lot of stuff was, and we didn't have no black colleges because we sold them all the civil rights movement.
So them all,
We didn't have that. We couldn't get into white colleges, and we had no college of our own now. So now we were like this limbo, and everybody just had to rely on getting a job or learning how to make crack.
Because all the black colleges right now are pretty much white. I went to go to, I never been to Atlanta, but when I was in I think the first year that I came to the Truth was 11th grade. I was in 11th grade, and I was applying for colleges because in 11th grade they have you apply to colleges, or otherwise they'll make you do it in 12th grade, right?
Right.
And I was looking at Clark State, Atlanta. I wanted to go to Atlanta for school because it was a black college, and I heard a lot about it. Right. I heard good news about it. But it's not what it's all cracked up to be. All those schools are pretty much white. You see what I'm saying? It's not. It's not for us. You know what I mean? That makes sense. So.
Right. I mean, it's just.
It's like I was saying, and also the promises that they made and the prospects during for joining the military.
Right. Yeah. That's another. Yeah. That's another thing. I forgot all about that one. The military. That was another avenue out. You know.
It was. Yep. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And it's like when we come back to either the same or the worst conditions.
Yeah.
Without that promise that they gave us.
Right. Yep. Now you're on drugs.
Right.
Now you're alcoholic, the raging alcoholic. So
Right.
you're beating your wife, your children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You doped up. You fucked up in the head. You mentally off. You know what I'm saying?
And
you all tore, man.
Right. And then you on heroin.
Yeah.
And then you know what I'm saying? It's just opium, all kind of different drugs. Because a lot of people, it's funny because a lot of people never even get
homeless too.
Homeless. Yeah, definitely. That. A lot of dudes that was in the military never became drug addicts until they went overseas.
Yeah, and it fucked them up. That's why Veterans Day was in November.
Right.
And that's why we always shit on that day, because now we don't shit on that day because we speaking on behalf of Esau, necessary white people, but more of just our people to let them know, like, America still don't love you.
Right.
They promised this and promised that, and when you went over there, you did their work for them, but you came back to no reward,
right,
whatsoever. Now you're screwed up.
Right, and even a worse situation. I know a brother that I used to work with at the slaughterhouse, and this brother said that he did 3 years total in Vietnam. Each tour he did 2 tours. He did a year and a half over there, learned to be a stone cold killer, right? And his only hope was in coming back to a better America. He said when he came back, stuff was so bad.
Oh, yes, it was.
That he went back for another tour.
Oh, damn.
Go ahead.
And then not only that, Salaki, but because you mentioned that, a lot of brothers didn't have a skill set before they went into the military. They got trained to be them stone cold killers. They got trained to load and unload their rifle. They didn't come back with skill set.
Right, no, they didn't come back with it. Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and some, even the ones that did have a skill set before they went over there, it's still the same deal because a lot of you, if you was a carpenter or something like that, these are trades still was dominated by whites, and they very racist.
They were.
Bricklaying and all of that stuff, and we were being squeezed and pushed out of that stuff back then to where, you very, very rarely even know any black bricklayers today.
That's true.
I went to school. I took up brick mason. My brother did too, and neither one of us ever had a job in that. You know what I'm saying? They go to show you. You know what I'm saying? We both, was in brick mason. He went to the job corps after I did. And he's never had a bricklaying job.
So let's get back to it.
Okay.
Because I know we're going all over the place.
Verse 11. The words of the wise are as gold, And as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies.
It's like you said, the words of the wise are gold.
Are as gold. Yeah.
Okay.
Like ox gold.
Yeah. I thought I said good for it, so I had to come in close. All right, keep going.
And as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd.
I like that.
All right.
You want to break it down?
I can give a quick breakdown on this. Okay, the words of the wise are as goads. The goads is what goes upon an ox to show the ox what direction to go in when the ox is plowing the field. Without the goad, what would the oxes do?
Be all over the place.
Yeah, they would be all over the place. The field be all messed up, you know. But that's why it says the words of the wise are as goads. Instruction, you know.
Right. It's the same thing. So like, if you don't mind, not to cut you off. It's the same thing with what's that shit? What is it called? Okay, it's a scripture. I believe it's in James when it talks about how you must, control what you say.
Right.
Control your tongue. It's the thing that goes in a horse's mouth. I forget the name of it. That's
the bridle.
Bridle, there you go. Yeah, bridle your tongue. There you go. I think that's a James.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it reminds me of that. Absolutely. That's a precept, better yet.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
And as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies. Anybody want to take a crack at that one?
Should I read it one more time?
And as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies.
Oh, fastened meaning like the foundation, in a sense, right?
Kind of like it. Okay, like say for instance, people.
It's structured. It's like how like how we one body, we one how we one body, one mind, and etc. One faith, one baptism, right?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at a literal sense of this, like when it says, as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, like say for instance, you got to do this over assembly, right? He has an event, and a lot of times people had events in tents.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Big old huge tents. And he is responsible for making sure that tent stays up, that they in there, the damn thing don't fall down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he strategically places the nails where they need to go, sets them in order so that the tent stays up, so that the assembly runs smooth. He's the master of the assembly because he's the one in charge of it.
And it's a lot about what I was thinking more of like just how all the generals set the standard as far as the protocols and everything like that, and just giving it to everybody. So everything is in place. So
our tent don't fall down.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I mean, it is spiritual and physical.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah. That's what I was thinking first.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
that's why he said, and as nails fastened by the masters of assembly,
right? Because
he's thinking literal right here, so that we can get it from the literal, breakdown.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. When you read that, I knew instantly, like, okay, I like this one right here. This is nice. All right, let's go to verse 12. Oh, you still had a question, Salaki.
No, Salaki. I was going to say something similar to what you were saying about as far as the nails. I was thinking just more solid and strong. Like properly handcrafted.
Right.
But I wasn't also considering the strategic placement of everything,
right?
To keep it done in decency and order.
Right. Yeah, that like you said, making it strong, because you gotta have strong. If you have people that build structures, a lot of times they're not strong.
Right.
That's a skill set in all of itself. Learning how to. That's why you need more. A lot of times you need more than one person of expertise when building stuff. Because some people know how to set it up real good, but then you have others that know how to make it fortified and strong. They're like building a house. You have the dude that he know how to lay the foundation, and the dude with the carpentry work, and then you have the other guy, an electrician, come in. You know what I'm saying? And works. All three of them. You know what I'm saying? They don't know each other's craft. They just know their own pretty much, and they all come together as a team to make sure that house is strong and fortified and has everything it needs.
So like that reminds me of something as far as when Captain had came down to Minnesota, to do the electrician work on a house that me, Kunayala, Kodash, and this brother by the name of Bariah, we was all building this house from we was building it inside, but still building this house up, putting up the sheetrock and knocking shit down and laying down the carpet, just and repainting the walls, just doing a lot, right? And I remember that Katakata told me to go downstairs to the basement and hit one switch. You know, mine is deaf itself, so I can't really hear. So I hit one switch and it shocked the shit out of him.
Damn. You know, being an electrician, that's a hell of a job, man.
Yo,
that's a hell of a, you know.
He was ready to take a nigga life. He was like, God damn, right? He said some thousand bolts just 100 and some bolts just went through my fucking finger, my whole body. Man, shit was hilarious. He was cracking up.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen a brother get shot when I was working in the.
That shit ain't joke.
Yeah, really though. But this was so funny though. I ain't gonna lie. This stuff was kind of funny. The dude reminded me of Jerome on Martin. His name was George. Okay. He was a maintenance man. He was a brother and everything. He had this juicy jerry curl.
Oh, yeah.
And he looked just like Jerome, and he talked like it too. You know? He's like, so it's a bunch of, he's an older brother and everything. There's a bunch of young white dudes. They trying to find out how to get the Skinner back to working and everything, right? Yeah. So they trying to do some little stuff. He comes right, he's like, move, get out of the way, get out of the way. It's this cord that hangs right here. You got the plug that you connect like that. Get out of the way, get out of the way. And he goes,
good night.
But he got up on him, he just blew it around like this, and everybody on the line is just rolling.
Good night.
Oh, man. Those were the funniest moments in that job.
Hey, but long story short, afterwards, me and Captain Kadasa had laughed about the shit, you know, like probably shortly after, but he was just like, I was ready to kill you. You see what I'm saying? He's like, no, he didn't say that, but that's how he looked. You know what I'm saying? He's like, damn, man, that shit hurt. He's like, yo, that's gonna kill me. No, that shit was hilarious. So,
electrician, man. Being an electrician, that's a hell of a job, man.
I'd have been shocked before, and that shit's weird, man. That shit's painful. You been shocked before?
Kind of.
Oh my God, that shit is. Well, I mean, if enough, you know, goes through your body, your ass dead. But that shit is just weird. It's just like, ugh. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But anyway, let's keep going. That's a funny ass story, though.
Verse 12.
Okay.
And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books, there is no end.
I like that.
That's what these the people that try and battle Captain Desariak and Captain Calazar them don't understand.
Yeah.
They reading all these damn books and they dizzy as hell, but they can't even think, you know what I'm saying, of any solid book that they can even battle with, though. That's the funny thing about it. You know?
Because the Bible says something about, don't be a man in many books.
Right.
But of course, you know, you got to understand the concept of that. Because we have books right here.
Right.
But we're not creating a religion out of this shit.
Right.
This is just for information that lines up with the scriptures.
Exactly.
That's how you do it.
Right.
Like for example, I remember Captain Cesariak said that, you know, you can study, you know, Christianity, study other religions and shit like that, but you don't have to be a Christian about it.
Right.
You got to be a Muslim about it. All you're simply doing is understanding what this is and destroy that shit.
Right. Exactly.
He said that's how he battles. He see what their platform is. He tried to figure out what their so-called standards are, morals and things of that sort, and he used it against them.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah,
that's how you do it.
Right. Yeah,
it's that easy.
Yeah, find out what you know.
Yeah,
that's why
that whole gap thing. You see what I'm saying? The rod and the mouth or something.
That's
absolutely gay.
And then the Egyptians using semen as food flavoring
or some shit. That's
because they used to do that too. They used to use semen as food flavoring.
That's absolutely just disgusting. You know what I'm saying? And then the gap being a man and a woman or an idea like what is it, a transsexual DC? What is it? I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's just I'm just like y'all out of y'all mind.
Then they have female pharaoh sitting there with her titties out.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying? Where the wisdom in that? You know, and she's looking half like a man. On top of that, the only thing she just got knuckles.
That's crazy.
Right.
Absolutely crazy. Don't make no sense. Keep going.
So making many books, there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh.
What does that mean?
Much studying will get you not only physically tired, but it'll also jog your brain up because you know you studying all of these books and all of this different stuff, you know. But at the same time, you get knocked off your basic foundation. So now you know you in the wind. That's one of the jobs that Satan's going to try and do is knock you off your base. That's what when you battle people, that's what they want to do. They want to knock you off your base. That's why dude in GOCC lost that battle to that devil.
Oh, I remember that. Yo,
he was knocked off his base.
Yo,
right.
That was some great history. Because that shit just lets you know that would never happen to us.
Right, and he's battling. What the hell? What book was that? Battling with some type of book.
I can't remember the book. Is that video still online?
I think it is. I think it is. I've seen it in a while. Yeah. But that's how he lost that battle.
I remember that kind.
If he stuck with his One West principles and base, he would have beat them. And the thing about it, the devil was smarter. And he started talking about that, and that became the topic, and that's where the devil had it.
And then it was a fucking body bag.
Wasn't a Septuagint or nothing. Like, it was something else. Gosh, I can't think of whatever because this has been a long time. You know, I think that was about like a trooper or something back when they was but I've noticed how he just got knocked off of his base like that. He got knocked off the his One West foundation, and that's how he lost. Because if he had stuck with what he was taught when he was with One West, it ain't no goddamn way the devil would have beat him in the battle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he left off of that and that because he started studying many books.
Right. He was going to learn. He didn't know the scriptures.
Right. It's good to look into those books, like you said, and knowing how to cut people with it that rely upon those books, how to cut them inside their own book. You know, but when you take and incorporate the stuff, is knowledge that you're taking on.
Right.
And then you try to battle in that book that he has, you know what I'm saying, that he knows is not the truth.
God. Like for example, the whole Star Brand Friend, who's that one? Chien.
Right.
And I think it's another one somewhere.
Molak.
Molak, there you go. Yeah, Star Molak is the main one out here. The Brand Friend and all the other ones, right? It's like a lot of people, you know, it's funny. I saw a dude try to battle me a long time ago on that topic, and he just thought that shit was hilarious. He was like, "Yep, that's a Star Brand Friend. Look at this, blah blah blah." And once again, using means to think that that's going to do something, and pulling scriptures that are completely out of context.
Right.
And it's like if you read, what is it, Acts the 5th chapter?
Right.
I believe, yeah. If you read that whole entire chapter, it explains it right here to you.
Right.
It's just like them looking at somebody else teaching that doctrine, you know, that BS. They think that they got you.
Right.
It's just like you don't understand the Bible and you think that you are intelligent. It's so funny because a lot of people think that studying this Bible is an easy thing. Not saying that it's not hard, but it takes a lot of skill to do that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It takes a lot of skill to break down this Bible in its actuality.
Right. And you have to be learned.
You have to be taught. You have to be learned. And the Most High has to be with you.
Right.
Otherwise, He is going to do what Paul said in I want to say 1 Corinthians, where the Lord blinds certain people.
Right.
What is it? Reprobates.
If you turn them over to a reprobate mind.
Or otherwise, like
also confound is another.
The Most High, like He blinds people's eyes from seeing the truth.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then He, I gotta find that scripture because I just saw it. You see what I'm saying? I believe it was Paul that said that. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people just don't know the Bible at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's evident. How you know? Because what's going on in their organization and what's happening to them. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, unless you want to say something.
Yeah, I mean, which is so true. I mean, yeah. You want me to go on to verse 13?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Mm-hmm.
Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Right. And I remember when I saw this scripture, I was like, "This is deep. I like this."
Right. Bring right back. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm saying also too, I use the scripture a lot to let women know, like, what is your duty versus what is a man's duty. You know what I'm saying? This is the whole duty of man. Now, of course, she can keep the law, statutes, commandments, of course, as well. But as far as taking it a whole nother level, as far as going to warfare, things of that sort, you guys stay your ass at home. Worry about making sure the kids are fed.
Right.
All right? Otherwise, if there is no kids, make sure the house is intact. If you got to clean, if you got to vacuum the goddamn ceiling and dig up the damn carpet and sweep underneath that, do it.
Right.
Meanwhile, me and my man, we are going to go to war. You see what I'm saying? We have to go to camp. We got to do all these things, travel. You see what I'm saying? I stress this a lot because, those preachers, those women preachers.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They just so stubborn, ignorant, and be like, well, wasn't such and such a prophetess? You don't even know what a prophetess is.
Right. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I remember one time I was battling ex-trooper Karab's uncle. And
you said Karab. I know that name.
Yeah, Karab.
Indiana, right?
No, he's out of Kentucky, out of Louisville.
Okay, I probably.
Yeah, that was I brought him, into.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
My best friend from the world.
Okay, yeah. You told me. I do remember who he is.
He set up a battle for me to battle his uncle and everything.
Right.
And his uncle's one of those Gnostic dudes.
Oh Lord,
And so we went over his house and everything, and he's showing off all of his books.
Mm-hmm.
He was so insulted because I only brought 2. I brought 2 books. You know what I'm saying? He was insulted. He was shitty. I brought 2 books, Bible and Apocrypha, while he had a whole damn library. Of all of these books, that, you know what I'm saying, like this for a challenge. He thought he was going to get it, and I'm dusting him in just those 2 books. Hell, I didn't even bring over the Apocrypha bunch. I was just in the Bible, just, you know what I'm saying. And he got angry. He ended up, y'all gotta leave.
Yeah, it's
very
emotional.
He got heat.
You know what what's the word? I relish when people get upset as far as the Bible and shit like that, and then they be like, "Yeah, man, I don't want to talk about that no more." Like, oh, okay, you don't want to talk about that no more? All right, well then don't say a goddamn word to me then,
right?
Because you know where the conversation is going to go. Right. You're not gonna like the answer. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, moving on. No, that's hilarious. I can't wait for camp next year. I hope we get some battles.
Right. We definitely.
I've never battled on the street, and I'm ready.
Sure, we can do a lot of the stuff, that like we kept the party to do in Indianapolis.
Oh yeah,
we battling online.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun too.
Yeah. No, it is. No, it's very fun. Yeah.
Especially something to do when it's like super frigid cold in the wintertime and all of that. Set up those type of battles right there,
Yeah. No, what I also like to do as well, I know this is something that Quinayala and Yahusab, we all used to do to each other. We'll randomly, come up to each other and be like, they'll say something like, Esau is our brother. See what I'm saying? Or who is Esau? I'm like, no, that's incorrect. Then they be like, prove it. I'm like, what? I'm like, prove it. I'm thinking of scriptures and shit like that because we try to sharpen each other up that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to know that we, know what we're doing.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's funny though because I passed the test. You know what I mean? So, it was funny though. It's just always caught me off guard. I'm like, Genesis this and Psalms that and blah, blah, you know what I mean?
You know what? That's also good for, brand new officers.
Yeah, of course.
Troopers, the ones that you figure is going to become officers.
Yeah, and that's what Kodash says on Wednesday. He was like, someone had a question in the class, or had texted me a question, and about sexist marriage. Since no one has questions in the room, can someone tell me where do I go first? He does it all the time.
Right.
If you ever seen that before.
Okay.
He does it like, randomly, you see what I'm saying? And so that sharpens you up to let you know, okay, you got to get your mind working. Where do I go first?
Right.
And where do I go last?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's an order and way that you go to the scriptures to where it all breaks down and makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, but anyway, we keep going.
Verse 14. For God shall bring every work into judgment. This is another thing right here with people that study all of the, like, say, for instance, people like Polite.
Yeah.
Of course, he didn't probably study many books, but then he talks a whole bunch of jambalaya, but then at the same time, in his personal life, he's running around trying to, stunt with devil women and, all of that. Right. His whole motives for studying. I mean, a lot of people's whole motive for studying many books is to pop themselves up as some type of leader, just like the Ben Yahweh type people, to pop themselves up as some type of leader and everything. Like they, king of the Jews.
Absolutely. And as far as that judgment, you know what I'm saying? Meaning like the Lord will put something in place to see, based on what you're studying, are you really who you say you are? Or is this validated?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's why, once again, the generals and the men over us always say, study and show yourself approved.
Right.
You know what I mean? Was that 1 Timothy 2 and 15? Study to show thyself approved. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got to do that.
Right.
Because if someone comes to you with a question like, how do I handle this situation or that situation, or someone's trying to come up against you, how do you attack that?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? How do you rebut that? So, yeah, keep going.
With every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Like you just said. You see what I'm saying? Self-explanatory.
Right.
You got to answer for everything.
Right. A lot of times people do good things in secret. And hell, some of the people around them will look at the good thing as being something evil.
Right.
But what the Lord can do, he can reward that person for the good thing that he did that everybody thought was evil, and everybody will be admonished.
Yep, absolutely. It happened thousands.
Yeah.
I would say Christ is a great example.
Right.
Christ is definitely a great example.
Right. The secret things that people do that's good. Somebody, even if somebody's secretly feeding the poor.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too. Yeah, our food drives. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Secretly feeding the poor. Yeah. Other people might not account those works for nothing, but they don't. The people that see us do it, the secret just don't mean that it's just only hidden from everybody.
Right.
It means that also too that people are not looking at it and be like, man, those brothers is actually feeding the poor. Man, let me go help them brothers out. Let me, donate. Let me do this. The world's not doing that. They see us out there feeding the world in secret, but it's in front of everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And they seeing us do it, and they're not counting our work for nothing, just like the Papa talks about. We just went through that class just not too long ago. Just about 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Oh, you talking on that Sunday?
Right. I think no, not this Sunday. It was after that. We talked about when they talked about, I can't believe he's counted among the saints.
Oh, no. Yeah, kind of. Okay. Oh, yeah, that was a class.
Right.
Yeah, that was a class that you
They saw the works.
Right.
But they didn't count it for being nothing. They turned their head away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it's messed up because a lot of our people are like that. I mean, keeping it real. You like that? It's like that on the slaves. It's like that.
It is, absolutely.
You can do something on it. Now, let me give an example, though. Let me give an example, one of my examples. I was working at the Wendy's on U.F.L. campus. And you know how you have to have the grill and everything, right? And after they clean the grill at night, the grill is still chocolate brown.
Right.
You know, not that they don't know what they're doing, because they cleaned it real good.
Right.
With me, I come up with a problem-solving skill. You know, with a problem, with something to solve that problem.
Right.
Right? I had my own concoction.
Okay.
That I mixed together.
Okay.
And that grill was shining like it was brand new, to where everybody was blown the hell away because they never saw that grill look like that.
Right, absolutely, yeah. It's like, I mean, they say, I mean, to them it's clean enough.
Right.
It's not all the way clean.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So,
but then they seen the way that I cleaned it.
Right. It's like, damn.
Right.
Yeah.
You
absolutely.
know, then they was like, but so instead of giving me any credit for it, you know what I'm saying? They were just trying to sneak to see what I did.
Good night.
That's all they were doing. They were trying to sneak to see what I did and all of that. And you know, and of course, I took my concoction back and left them with the dirty grill.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why when I worked at the one in Indianapolis, I didn't even break out my concoction. I'm like, I want to keep the dirty grill. Y'all can keep it. I'm going to start selling this stuff. Which I'll look for it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be Officer Tarak's grill cleaner.
Hey, that'll be nice.
You know what I'm saying? You know, they got the 3M and all of that, you know, and all of that stuff, but my stuff is way better and it's cheaper. Look for it.
I'm most of class. I like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Support black businesses.
Damn right. Yeah, especially the one West black businesses. Support those.
Hey, everybody's businesses in the UK is actually booming.
Right, yeah.
The COVID has definitely, you know, been a blessing to us. You see what I'm saying? But all right, that's the last scripture.
This is the last scripture right here.
Yeah.
It said whether it be good or evil. But like I was saying, though,
go ahead.
I'm just giving an example. Not saying that I was in the world, you know. But I'm just giving an example of how some people do. If you don't have favor with them, or whatever, they'll turn a blind eye to what you did. Just the same thing happened to Joseph.
Yeah.
It happened to him. Joseph interpreted the dream, and dude was restored. The butler was restored back to his position, and he acted like Joseph never even said that shit.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see that you said that. I forgot all about that.
And that was a secret thing, because Joseph did that from prison.
Yeah.
How much more secretive can you get than that?
Absolutely. Damn. Yeah. That was actually on point. I forgot about that. Yeah. Damn. That's deep. It's alive, yeah. All right. You got it on that?
Yeah, let's get on that.
No sweat. All right, so we are officially done with Ecclesiastes, Salakia. We are going to move forward to another book. We'll get into that next week. We'll let you know. Otherwise, with that being said, we'll call it
a module.
Boy, can you look at this camera? Right there.
Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Avanah. Shabbat Shemayim. Hadash. Yah. Shabbat. Yahweh. Malakukah. Barazak. Yah. Shah. Baharakazah. Wah. Yah. Shemayim. Damanah. Come. Call. One. Slap now. Walk now. Slap now. Walk now. Tabayana. Manasayawa. Ball. Shana. Yan. Yan. Ka.
The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. On earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts. As we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Amen.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayani. Alahar. Yan. Zari, Ain, How, Shah, Shemai, Barak, Al-Yatam, What, Gauka, Al-Yanamon, Marka, Na, Wam, Sham, Mark, Yashal, Yahau, Marka, How, Zalka, Yamyanka, Yamam, Shemash, Ka, Yao, How, Smart, Call, Smart, Afterpass, How, Smart, Yata, I will.
Psalms 121 in the English. I'll lift up mine eyes. To the hill. From which comes my help. My help comes from the Lord. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel. Shall slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in. From this group,
the house, how much else right?
the power in the English, Yahweh. And name Yahweh. Please give us the power. Power to heal all manner of sickness. All manner of disease. Power to cleanse the lepers. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. And name Yahweh. Thank you. So be it.
Pray to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Bashim Yahweh. Rockland. Wabiyah. Heart. Rock. Gun. Say the name of loved ones once, or we're going to piece the name.
I'm trying to say all of Israel.
All of Israel. Bashim Yahweh. And what I'm
Bless Israel in English. Lord, in the name of Yahweh. Bless us in Israel. In the school. Bless Field Shield Protect. Loved ones. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahai. Al-Damiyah, Al-Takarash, Al-Tashquat, Kayahana, Ham, One, Rash, Al, Maka, Yaryama, Yatazawa, Tanawapaka, Mara, Lakau, Panakidam, Gari, Wala, Sakar, Sham, Yashal, Water, Natazal, Ba, Yakara, Al-Yaka, Varia, Yakarakwa, Alia, Adawam, Washaman, Alayam, Mawaba, Wagari, Waimula, Shah, Ain, Ishabi, Atabor, Gum, Ashawar, Lau, Mum, Hayao, Zara, Abanya, Wat, Salah, Shah, Hum, Mani, Ziyasara, Kayabi, Manaka, Kayasma, Nashamadu, Bayan Dar, Hayawa, Yaman, Adam, Shatam, Nada, Ya, Mawa, Arab, Wakaza'aba, Wakaza'ba, Wakaza'al, Manai, Nasakamba, Ashar, Marwa, Narasa, Lanawa, Nawa, Alahaya, Sanatamba, Quach, Apanya, Raka'a, Ka'ach, Tabar, Yara, Wakalahaba, Alahat, Wahari, Rada, Rasaraka, Baka, Tabalaham, Mala'at, Fanyaham, Malawan, Wayabakasha, Kab, Hawa, Yabasha, Wayaba'awa, Aya, Wayabaparo, Wayababa, Wayadawa, Kayaka, Ka, Hawa, Baka, Ayawan, Call, Harakisa.
In Spanish. Psalms 83 in English. Keep not thy silence. O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O Yahweh. Lo. Thy enemies make atonement. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. Against thy people. And can sober against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come. And let's cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they are consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarians. Of Moab. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre. Shur also was joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. As Sisera. At the Jabin. At the brook of Kison. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make the nobles like Hor. And like Zeeb. Yea. All the first as a Ba. And as a moon. Who said, let's take to ourselves the house of God in possession. Oh my God. Make it like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. As the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest. And make it pray thy storm. Fill the faces with shame. And they seek thy name. O Lord. Let it be confounded in trouble. Forever. Yea. Let it be put to shame and perish. That men may know that thou. Whose name alone is Yahweh. The most high over all the earth. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. In all things living. Yahweh. And name Yahweh Shah. Listen to us now. Right now. She was a curse. Come to destruction. The heathen that speak up against us. Thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, Israelite brothers, in the school, he was a curse, and he was a curse, destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the church, of the rich of Israel, but refuse to give to the school, force the riches to enter thy sanctuary, See, he was a curse, destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, court system, prison system, planetarium, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, skinheads, kamikaze, gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, birds of witchcraft, space program, army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Wall Street, open up the internet, the airways, they were access channels, the radio channels, the biggest spirit of any thy people, that seek to stop us,
That seek to stop us.
and bring swift destruction.
Bring swift destruction.
To all the heathen.
All the heathen.
That stand in the way.
Stand in the way.
Try to stop us.
Try to stop us.
To broadcast your word.
Broadcast your word.
God the planet Earth.
God the planet Earth.
Lose all the plagues.
Lose all the plagues.
Cause you to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
The earth consume them.
The earth consume
Let
them.
the plague shake the house of the thief.
Plague shake the house of the thief.
thieves.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
And Yahweh
Yahweh
Gabriel.
Michael Gabriel.
Down to flying saucers.
Down to flying saucers.
All the heathens.
Put y'all the heathen.
That come up against us.
Come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
Speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause we know by all.
That it is the angels that have done it.
That is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause it to shake at thy coming.
Cause it to shake at thy coming.
And name me how to shine.
And name me how to shine.
Thank you all.
Thank you all, Lord.
So be it.
So be it.
All right, Shalom Israel. That's the Sabbath service. You want to catch us next week. Otherwise, tomorrow we have a additional class going on for this Sunday instead of this Saturday. All right, so check that out tomorrow night. Right. All right. Most High in Christ. That being said, Shalom. All right. Most High in Christ.